I know we're a few minutes over time, but I want to ask, is there anyone in the house that has a question or comment? And I want you to feel free. We have microphones that are a little far back. Is it where we can bring them a little closer down, make ourselves a bit more intimate, so that we can ask our questions of this panel? Thank you very kindly. And if you don't mind moving to the microphones, both for sound and recording purposes, would you be so kind? If you have a question, just move to the microphones.
Hi, I'm Michael Lavers. I'm a staff writer at the Washington Blade here in DC. And for those folks who may not know what our paper is, we're one of 2 LGBT newspapers here in DC. And I just wanted to thank all of you for coming here. I'm actually not covering this, I just came here for my own interest, but I do have a question to ask folks, especially the folks who are here from Africa tonight. One of the things that Hillary Rodham, Secretary of State Clinton, has said repeatedly is that expanding equality to LGBT people is one way to actually fight the epidemics. So I'm curious to hear your thoughts, especially on proposals that would actually take a country's LGBT rights record into account when they're deciding whether to allocate foreign aid. So I'm curious to hear your thoughts on that, since that has come up recently, both here in the US as well as in the UK. Thank you.
Someone want to address this? Yes, Robert.
Well, I think it's a twin-edged sword, really, because it seems to be a straitjacket that says one size fits all. I think there should be a deliberate effort to look at aid country by country. Because in one country, if you go, for example, the situation in Malawi now, when you've got a progressive leader, and you say we're tying our aid to LGBT rights, that's going to be accepted a lot easier than if you go to a country where people are digging their heels in. Because what they're going to say is exactly what Mike said, and that's going to be, you see, we told you. These people want to recruit our kids, and they want to spread the LGBT lifestyle. So on one hand, it gets governments thinking and rethinking their strategies and thinking, you know, we may starve or we may have serious problems and crisis if we don't reconsider. But then, same example, which I think you can also get from Malawi, is the previous leader went the other way. You know, that would then seem as a threat. And an African leadership is saying, we want to be seen as partners and not as subordinates. And the fact that we're hungry doesn't mean you have to come and foist your morals down our throats. So in certain circumstances, it can work, but in other circumstances, it can just serve to polarize. That's at least my personal view.
Yeah, just to say that it reinforces entrenched positions in some cases.
Yes.
Certainly, I had an experience where a group of 5 cabinet ministers rose to debate with me about issues relating to LGBTQ because they said I was among those who promoted issues of LGBTQ. But to me, and in reality, I was promoting issues in relation to human rights. But the government had to twist that kind of approach. They said, look here, this is the carrot that the West is bringing across to these Africans so that they buy in the idea of bringing in and making everybody in this country gay. And yet, that's not the desire of some of us. We believe that there's no more human rights than the other. When you talk of human rights, they need to cut across the divide, and they are universal. So the fear we have is really from the other side of the divide is our governments can become so shrewd, and they will use that to actually champion the entrenched positions that they hold.
Something small, like McDonald has put it. We, as human rights activists, of course, our messages are very clear that it's not discriminatory. When you talk about human rights, it's for everyone. But most challenging is, where are these communities? For example, in Uganda, I was speaking to colleagues. I've done activism in Kampala for quite a long time. I've never even had an opportunity to have someone come up and say, I'm a lesbian or a gay. That is also very challenging, that this is a community which is hidden somewhere and then privately somewhere in some community. So what I think the approach would be general human rights. We talk about human rights as a general issue, but now when it comes to LGBTQ, the problem is even identifying the communities is not very easy. So we still have to do packaging, like he said, packaging, and research. We need to do research and then consultative meetings, maybe that works out.